Oh man, I think the Fed is pissed off. It is literally getting crazier by the day, you guys. And I'm almost under the pretense that this coordinated effort with the Fed, with the 1%, with those in power, with the WEF, the World Economic Forum, the rate of inflation, recession, the number of jobs lost already, the number of layoffs imposed already, the number of companies, and this is no accident. This is a very coordinated effort, and the low income and the middle income, the low income and the middle class are under direct attack right now. If you notice, even before the layoff started, retail jobs, I don't care if you work at Walmart, I don't care if you work at Target, Costco, Sam's Club. Help me out, guys. What other retailers are there where you're all of a sudden seeing this big, huge, massive push for self-checkout, right? So before layoffs, before unemployment rises, before we even embarked upon record levels of inflation recently, we were already seeing the elimination of jobs. We're already seeing the push for automation. We're already seeing the reduced amount of human-to-human interaction positions. Think about it. We saw it with the banks. The banks were, among the earlier pioneers to eliminate person-to-person interaction. They had these convenient ATMs at one point, and then all of a sudden, but it's funny because the way these banks started, ATMs were never inside of the banks. The banks used to have ATMs outside of the banks. Then over time, through evolution, the banks brought the ATMs inside. Then the banks got smart. The banks realized, hey, these ATMs, once we buy them, all we got to do is maintain them. They cost a whole heck of a lot less than the cost of tellers. And you don't have to worry about vacation time for a teller. You don't have to worry about sick time and all these other different things, raises for tellers. Let's get more of these machines in here. Dollar Tree. Heck, my wife told me she went to a Dollar Tree. She said there's self-checkout there. I've never been to a Dollar Tree and seen a self-checkout. You guys comment down below. So, with higher inflation, with the oncoming recession, with the pandemic and reduced person-to-person interaction, what this did was it accelerated the rate of elimination of jobs. It accelerated the rate of AI takeover. And more Americans are realizing that, hey, their jobs are at risk. And, in my opinion, I feel like the retail sector is probably at the greatest amount of risk compared to any other workforce designation, in my opinion. Retailers are under attack. And here's the thing. Generally speaking, I'm not saying everybody, but generally speaking, retailers, retail workers, I don't care if you work at Walmart, Target, Costco, you name it, retail workers generally are among the lower paid workers. And it doesn't matter if you're a retail worker who works as a cashier. I don't care if you're a retail manager. The thing is retail generally is like the lowest. I'm not saying like the lowest, but they're among the lower paid income bracket or type of role. And these are the first jobs that are being eliminated. We're seeing it with the self-checkout. We are seeing it with self-checkout left and right. Heck, I'm seeing it in restaurants. Well, let me rephrase. I saw someone else's video, Kevin's video. He was at a restaurant and they're eliminating waitress positions, waiter roles. So they're having these automated waiters and waitresses, or, well, I guess, I don't know what gender you would call a machine rolling up to your table to take your order and provide you with food. But those roles are under attack. So if these are the lower paying roles, this is an attack. This is part of the attack. This is not the whole picture. This is just part, very small, minute picture, component of the full picture, of the full spectrum. of the attack of the lower income American. So retailers are under attack. I had this comment, got this comment just the other day, and essentially it was talking about workers being called back into the office. People who work from home, remote workers. And at the, with the onset of the pandemic, millions of workers who maybe had worked from home once or twice made this massive transition to working from home every single day. Now there's this huge push from employers, big corporations, to bring the employee back into the office. Now, on the one side, you got the employer for various reasons that wants to bring the employee back in. They want to bring them in because they can. They want to impose their power, and they want to impose their will on the reluctant employee who doesn't want to come back into the office, who's already proven that they can do their job just as successfully, if not more effectively, remotely. But the employer, they want to bring the employee back in. They want the employee to get back in their cage. They want control over the employees, but the employees are trying to fight back. Employees are trying to retain their freedom. The employees are trying to be able to spend more time with their family and not have to conform to this control culture that these corporations want you to fall in line with. Got a message from Louise on the flip side to this, right? Louise says, people need to thank God that they still have a job, because the hospitality and restaurants industry, as well as retail, we just talked about this, guys, we may not make as much. As well as retail, we may not make as much, some people, but we have to report to work if we want a paycheck. So little Miss Thing needs to get over it, and thank God she still has a damn job, because it sure damn seems to me that the higher income workers don't want to report to the job that everyone has to make sacrifices to make a damn living. So basically, apologize for having to drop a few bombs here, but Louise is clearly upset. Apparently, the way Louise sees it, there's like the tale of two cities here. You've got people who happen to work in industries that were literally decimated by the pandemic. I mean, already lower income paying jobs, right? But these positions were just about decimated when the pandemic hit, because these were the type of positions where you couldn't work from home. You had to physically be in the building. You're not going to be able to ring someone up remotely. Not when someone's walking through Walmart, you're not able to ring someone up remotely. You can't stock shelves from your home. You have to go into the facility, into the warehouse, into the store, wherever you happen to work at, Walmart, Kroger, Publix, don't matter, Bed Bath & Beyond, to stock these shelves. Speaking of Bed Bath & Beyond, they're shutting down 150 stores. How many jobs do you think were lost as a result of 150 Bed Bath & Beyond stores being completely shut down? I can only imagine. I mean, what, 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe 100 positions per store? I don't know how many people work in a Bed Bath & Beyond, but you figure even if there's only, let's just say, just for easy numbers, let's say it's 50 people that work in one Bed Bath & Beyond, and then you go and shut down 100 stores. So that's like 500 people or 5,000 people that you're going to lose. That's 5,000 jobs just completely lost, right? And there's 150 stores, so that's like, what, 7,500 jobs potentially lost? And then what is this empty Bed Bath & Beyond store do to the shopping center that it's in? Because generally speaking, Bed Bath & Beyonds, you'll find them in like retail shopping centers. They're not generally standalone stores. They're usually like kind of like maybe an anchor store within a shopping center. So if this anchor store leaves, not only did it take away, let's just say 7,500 jobs, it's also going to slowly kill off the businesses that were nearby. The Dollar Tree, maybe not the Dollar Tree as much, but there's lots of other stores that, you know, mom and pop businesses that are nearby these Bed Bath and Beyonds, and you guys have seen it, whenever a big anchor store leaves a shopping center or a big anchor store leaves a mall, oh, it is a massive negative impact on the local economy and the traffic that, you know, when you have a big anchor store, they are running mega marketing campaigns and they're driving traffic. So many people come to those shopping centers for those big anchor stores. And then when all of a sudden those anchor stores are not there, these mom and pop stores don't have the budget to drive enough traffic to get people to constantly be coming in like these other stores do, these larger stores that are leaving, and they're leaving these big gaping holes in these shopping centers. And then slowly but surely, the bottom lines of all of the other mom and pop businesses that remain there, they begin to dwindle, and then they get scared, and then they start seeing it in their bottom lines and reduced revenues and reduced profit margins. And then it gets to a point where, all right, well, you know, the demand is down. We don't need as many employees. Then they start reducing and laying people off. They start firing employees, maybe not firing them because they're not necessarily letting them go because of something that they did wrong. There's just not enough business to support the headcount that they had at one point. So, you know, it's just this awful decline. And it's more of this economic collapse that the Fed is forcing on the American people. And the sad thing is that most people only have a single form of income. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck without an emergency fund, without sufficient income and sufficient ways to generate income that are location independent. So if you only have one source of income and for some reason you can't physically make it to wherever you happen to work, this is going to have a direct impact on your family. So it's awful, but this is a vulnerability that most Americans, most families, especially low-income families, are finding themselves in. But it doesn't have to be that way. And I think that more and more people are waking up to that fact, and they're making changes. They're making changes, and they're looking for ways to create additional sources of income. They're looking for ways to increase their income so that they can get out of credit card debt, so that they can build emergency funds. They're looking for ways to create and generate additional streams of income so that if one stream of income is impacted or affected in some way, it doesn't take down the whole family. And Louise here, you know, she's saying people need to thank God that they have a job, because the hospitality, the restaurant industries, as well as retail, they're not making as much as some people. So not only are these people not making as much money, but they also have to work harder. In my opinion, you know, to have to physically go somewhere and actually physically do something, you could technically be physically working harder. Now, of course, it's debatable if you're working harder doing a physical job versus mental work, which is also taxing. But I'm not really here to debate what type of job is harder. Fact of the matter is that retail, hospitality, restaurants are under the greatest threat out of, if we were to look at categories of jobs. So if we were to look at different types of categories of jobs, in my opinion, these are the categories of jobs that are at greatest risk. It's kind of like, they're like the tall blades of grass that are ultimately going to get clipped first, and that's what I'm seeing. And so if you're finding yourself in a position, if you work a job where you can kind of see the writing on the wall, rather than waiting until the last minute, start asking yourself, hey, what other skills do I have? What other ways could I potentially generate income for my family so that I make the decision to leave, rather than being unprepared and being forced to leave with no backup plan, with no plan B, with no plan C. So I just wanted to share this information with you guys. Let me know what you guys are seeing. Let me know what you guys are hearing. Drop me some comments down below. I love to debate with you guys. If you made it this far in the video, consider subscribing to the channel. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Be safe out there.